Imagine for a moment, just as you take a deep, calm breath, that you're standing at the edge of a door that leads to your next level, a place of growth, of change, of an unshakable confidence. And behind that door are the things you've always wanted to do, the growth you've always craved, the life you've always wanted to step into. And yet, at times, you may have felt afraid to open it. Maybe you thought, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I look foolish? What if they reject me? But in this moment, right now, as you stand before this door, you realize something. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to impress anyone. Because the only thing you truly need is to be yourself. As you breathe deeply, you understand that you already have everything inside you to walk through this door, to express yourself, to speak confidently, and to leave a lasting impact. And this is just the beginning. Because you carried some beliefs for a while now. Beliefs like, I have to perform perfectly. I need to impress them with my words. If I make a mistake, I'll be judged. I must avoid looking foolish. But now, you begin to feel those beliefs, the ones that once controlled you, soften and fade away. Who told you you had to be perfect? Who said you couldn't be both brilliant and human at the same time? Can you feel how those old limiting rules, they start to dissolve? Because they were never really true. They were just ideas that you picked up, ideas you no longer need. In fact, when you step into that new interview, you realize it's not about impressing them. It's about connecting with them. It's about sharing your energy, your passion, your perspective. Just being yourself. Once you let go of the need to be perfect, everything becomes effortless. Your words flow naturally. As you speak, you feel calm. You feel present. You feel confident. Because deep down, you know the most powerful thing that you can do is speak your truth. Because here's the truth. When you walk into a room, when you sit for an interview, the most important thing isn't your answers. It's the energy you bring. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who didn't necessarily say the right thing, but their presence was so compelling? People remember how you make them feel. People remember the energy you bring. So imagine for a moment that the real key to interviews is not to perform, but to show up authentically and confidently as yourself. You may have feared that expressing your truth would lead to rejection or laughter, but what if, instead, speaking your truth opened doors? What if people were simply waiting for you to show up and share your unique brilliance? As you embrace this new perspective, you begin to feel a shift inside you. You no longer need to suppress your emotions or shut down. You can now release any old beliefs that told you to hide parts of yourself. And you begin to understand that the real magic is in your authenticity. As you feel this power rising within you, you recognize you're the person that people want to connect with. You're the person who makes a difference because you have everything you need inside you already. Imagine now you're about to step into your next interview. What if instead of feeling terrified, you felt excited? What if instead of performing, you're simply sharing your perspectives, your journey, and your unique abilities? What if instead of worrying about making a mistake, you welcomed the opportunity to connect with people who value you for who they truly are? And as you step through the door to that interview, you walk in with unshakable confidence. You know that no one can take away your brilliance because it's already inside you. Every question they ask is simply an invitation to share your truth. Every question you give flows from that deep place of confidence, knowing that what you say matters, because you matter. You've released the old fears, the limiting beliefs, the self-doubt, and now you know. You can't fail when you're being you. And the more you embrace this truth, the more you see how effortlessly you own your conversation. You begin to realize you've already succeeded because you didn't just get through the interview. You showed up as your best self. And that is what matters the most. Now that you've released the old habits, embraced your truth, and see how much easier everything becomes when you're authentic, you can feel it. You know deep inside that your growth is unstoppable. The next time you find yourself preparing for an interview, you feel a sense of excitement instead of fear. You feel the confidence rise naturally because you no longer need to hide. You no longer need to be perfect. You are enough exactly as you are. And that truth is now deeply embedded within you. As you continue to move forward, the sense of calm confidence will only grow stronger, and you realize you're not just ready for interviews, you're ready for everything. Let this new version of you sink in deeply, because when you think about it, isn't it fascinating how easily the transformation has happened? And imagine yourself in the midst of a transformative moment, a moment where fear starts to melt away. And what's left is a sense of calm, clarity, and unstoppable confidence. Because you've carried many beliefs for years, beliefs that said you to be perfect. You believed that in order to succeed, you needed to say the right thing, to sound just so, to be free from mistakes, from judgments, from foolishness. And these beliefs over time, they've created a wall that kept you in a place of fear, of hesitation, holding back. But just for a moment, consider this. What if those beliefs weren't true? What if you no longer had to follow those rules? What if there was another way? Imagine instead of striving for perfection, you just show up fully and speak your truth. What if it's not about avoiding mistakes, but about embracing them as opportunities for growth? What if mistakes weren't to be feared, but welcomed as part of the process of becoming the best version of yourself? Because when you think about interviews, what is it that you feel? Is it the tightness in your chest, the worry that you won't have the right answer, the fear that they'll see through your imperfections? Now pause and take a deep breath. Feel how at every exhale, those fears soften just a little, because the truth is, the real magic doesn't happen when you perform perfectly. The magic happens when you express yourself, not perfectly, but authentically. What if instead of fearing, that you appear foolish, you can understand that you're already enough? That simply by showing up, you're demonstrating your growth, your willingness to be vulnerable, to stretch beyond what feels comfortable. This is where real growth happens. You see, your energy matters more than the words you say. When you walk into a room or sit down for an interview, your energy speaks louder than anything else. Your calm, confident presence. It'll leave a lasting impact. So as you reflect on the interviews that you've had, ask yourself this. What would happen if you didn't fear mistakes at all? What if instead of holding back, you fully embrace the power of showing up as you are? What would it feel like to walk in with no expectations of being perfect, just the pure intention to be you? Because it's time to release the grip that these old beliefs and rules have had on you. What if these rules, these limitations you've carried for so long, no longer serve you? You might have adopted these rules because of fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of being not enough. But now you see these rules, they're just patterns you've outgrown. And now you can begin to loosen their hold. You can begin to feel those walls crumbling as you realise the truth is far simpler than you once thought. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. Every time you release one of these old beliefs, you make space for something new. You create room for more choices, more options, more opportunities. You let go of the need to control every detail, every word, every expression. You stop suppressing yourself. What if, instead of shutting down, you gave yourself permission to express your truth without fear of judgment? What would that feel like? As you start to believe in this new way of being, this way of showing up fully, your mind opens up. You realise there's no right or wrong way to speak or express yourself. There's only you, and you're enough. And so, every time you step into an interview, you begin to feel a wave of excitement instead of fear. You know you no longer need to control every single part of the conversation, because you are the energy in the room. People remember the way you make them feel, far more than the words you say. They remember the feeling of connection, the spark that ignites, when you're being authentically yourself. And in that moment you realise you don't have to try to sound cool or perfect. You don't have to worry about being too nerdy or foolish. What matters is you bring yourself fully, with all your passions, insights and unique qualities. Your growth doesn't come from trying to be someone else. It comes from standing fully in your own truth. You've learned that the mistakes, they're simply stepping stones. You've learned your energy is more powerful than any script. You've learned that being you is more than enough. Now as you prepare for the next interview, you step forward with confidence, ease and self-assurance. You trust yourself, you trust your words, you trust that you are the right fit. Not because you say everything perfectly, but because you're bringing your authentic self. And as you continue to practice this new way of being, you realise just how easy it becomes to walk into a room with a smile on your face, knowing you have everything you need inside you. And from this point forward, every interview becomes a conversation, a place to connect, a place to share your story, and a place to shine. Feel how that sense of confidence, the calmness, it seeps into every corner of your being. It doesn't matter if you've been nervous before. It doesn't matter if you've hesitated to show up. The truth is, this is who you are now. Someone who embraces their imperfections, who speaks from the heart, and who grows with every experience. So as you move forward, you no longer have to fear the interviews or conversations. You've unlocked your authentic self, and from this moment forward, you're empowered to embrace whatever comes your way with clarity, confidence, and a deep sense of inner peace. Because remember, people don't remember the words you say. They remember how you made them feel. And when you show up, being your truest self, you make others feel heard, valued, and important. That's the real magic, and you're creating it every time you speak from the heart. Now when you think of interviews, you'll see them as opportunities to share your truth, not as tests to pass or obstacles to overcome. You'll step in with a certainty that you've already succeeded simply by being yourself.